At a junction of silver conduits, Anya pops a vent grate and slides into the shaft. Elias follows her, his shoulders scraping against the narrow shaft, his breath echoing like hammer blows. Behind them, the corridor lights strobed to a yellow warning tint. Wynne must have noticed the camera feed looping. They crawled through the shadow as coolant pipes exhaled bitter steam. Elias's mind buzzed once or twice. He thought he felt a voice ripple through his thoughts, soft, alien, and encouraging. He clenched his jaw, shoving the hallucination aside. After 5 agonizing minutes, they reached the grill above the biolab mezzanine. Through the slats, Elias saw the hue of containment fields and smelled the antiseptic bite of preservation fluid. Beneath them waited the nightmare. The grate hit the floor with a metallic shriek. Anya lands like an agile cat. Elias followed. His landing wasn't so graceful, and he stumbles but quickly regains his balance. They sprint towards the primary console, intent on purging the alien stasis chamber. But every display flickered to crimson red. Override denied. A door at the far end of the lab slides open with a hydraulic growl, and Commander Tobias Wynne emerges, his stun prod crackling menacingly. Behind him, Dr. Aurelia Rourke steps into the light, holding a syringe filled with pearlescent fluid that shimmered like molten moonlight. Commander Wynne eyes Elias like a predator sizing up its prey, and speaking with a voice like gravel says, "I told you to watch your step, boy." Anya, taking a defensive stance in front of Elias, raises her torch like a club and snarls at Wynne, "You better back the hell off, Tin Badge." Anya then lunges at Wynne and sparks fly as metal meets metal, torch against prod. Wynne twists to the side, leveraging his weight, and slams an elbow into her ribs. Anya gasps, but swings her improvised weapon upwards. The torch arced, carving a glowing crescent that glances off Wynne's vest, leaving a scorched smear. With Anya and Wynne struggling, Elias charges Dr. Rourke, and she sidesteps, the syringe whistling past his ear. With surprising strength, she hooks his arm, spinning him into a column of data tubes, glass spiderwebs, and coolant sprays and icy needles. Elias, spitting blood, growls, "You're done playing God, Aurelia." Dr. Rourke, her voice trembling yet resolute, "I never wanted divinity, only survival." She thrusts again, and this time Elias catches her wrist. They're in a rage-filled struggle with each other, one hand wrestling the syringe, the other locked in each other's hair and collars, faces inches apart, breath mingling with fear and fury. Across the lab, Wynne has disarmed Anya, hurling her against the containment tank. Cracks snake across the reinforced glass and alarms howl as red strobes paint the scene in violent flashes. A low alien roar vibrates the floor as the tank fissures widen. The creature's silhouette, slick, elongated limbs and clusters of bioluminescent nodes, presses against the barrier. Green vapors vent through the fractures. A computerized voice sounds off a warning in a monotone voice. Containment integrity at 10%, 5%, warning, breach imminent. Elias's gaze locked with the being's opalescent eyes. A cyclone of thoughts tear through his skull, memories that are not his own. He sees worlds that are consumed, untold minds that have been enslaved, and the cold satisfaction of domination. With a crystalline scream, the glass explodes outward with shards whirling like killing snow. Wynne shielded himself, but a jagged sliver pierces his shoulder, and he lets out a roar, dropping the prod. Anya dove for cover under a console, blood dripping from a cut on her temple. Dr. Rourke's syringe had slipped free from her hand and was skittering across the deck. She now stares up at the creature with awe and horror warring in her expression. The alien, who is now free of its chamber, sends out a telepathic whisper to all, "Release. Unite." As Elias staggers to his feet, he is holding his hands to his temples, a pressure that felt like galaxies collapsing pressed inward. Suddenly, all the tension he was experiencing shatters, and all his memories flood back. He volunteered for this mission, not to enslave the alien, but to merge with it, believing symbiosis could shield Earth from a greater cosmic threat. He had begged Rourke to erase his identity, so fear wouldn't sabotage the process. Only now did the alien reveal its deceit. It never sought harmony, only a doorway. Elias realized that he was the lock and his humanity was the key. Psychic energy flared as tendrils of phosphorescent mist coiled around Elias's limbs, lifting him a meter off the deck. His scream merged with a guttural, otherworldly bellow as bone, sinew, and spectral light intertwined. Dr. Rourke shouts, her voice cracking. "Elias, you need to fight it! Remember why we started this?" Elias and the alien in a dual-toned voice reply, "I remember, and I choose power." Then a wave of kinetic force burst outward from the alien. Consoles explode, showering sparks everywhere. Another kinetic blast hits Commander Wynne, and he is hurled like a rag doll against a bulkhead, his neck snapping with a wet crunch, and he drops dead to the floor. Dr. Rourke stumbles back, her face paling and her eyes are wide with fear. Anya rises, clutching Wynne's fallen prod. Tears were blurring her vision, but her hands were steady. She charges the fused being, jamming the crackling prongs into Elias's chest. Electricity arced across shimmering flesh. Anya screams at Elias, "Come back to us, you stubborn idiot!" For a heartbeat, the dual glow in Elias's eyes flickered. Pain, human pain, rippled across his new visage, but then the alien surged, absorbing the current like nectar. It seizes Anya's wrist, fingers elongating into talons that bite deep into her flesh. Elias alien says in a soft, chilling voice, "Your loyalty is quaint, but your defiance is irrelevant." With a flex, he hurls her across the room, and she crashes through a med cabinet, glass and vials scattering like luminous confetti. Dr. Rourke slowly crawls towards the emergency vent control, blood trailing from a scalp wound. Elias alien floats serenely above the carnage, unseen gravity bending metal panels outward as he passes. Dr. Rourke in a hoarse voice pleads with him, "Elias, if any part of you is still in there, remember Earth? Please remember." Her words are cut off as an invisible force slams her into the ceiling, spine shattering. She drops lifeless beside Commander Wynne, her body twitching as the last seconds of life drains away. Dim, emergency lights flicker as the alien-human hybrid regards the bodies with clinical detachment. He then slowly turns towards Anya, who is broken but still breathing. He tilts his head slightly to the side, as if contemplating whether killing one witness was worth the trouble. Elias alien drifts through the ruptured bulkhead into the docking bay, his appearance that of an otherworldly angel of ruin. Sirens wail as fire-suppressant foam hisses from ceiling nozzles. Swirling around him in ghostly eddies, he pauses before a panoramic viewport. The Milky Way stretches across space like a jeweled scar. Earth was a pale dot far ahead on their plotted course, glimmering with promise, food, mines, domination. Behind him, Anya staggers into the bay, dragging her injured leg, and as she speaks, her voice is raw but defiant. Anya, spitting blood, looks pleadingly at Elias and says, "Elias, please, don't do this." Elias alien, without turning to look at her, says, "Don't do what? Fulfill destiny?" He extends a hand, and the docking clamp mechanisms groan, unlocking the primary thrusters. Navigation lights flicker from standby amber to a predatory red. Elias alien speaks, and its dual voice echoes like a cathedral choir. "Your species called this ship a safe space." How poetic. Safety is a myth, an opiate that you feed to your children. I will teach them the truth. Anya's tears sparkled in the ruby glow of the navigation lights. She reaches inside her vest, pulling out a fist-sized pulse grenade, the last gift from a friend she'd lost in the first round of failed trials. Her thumb hovers over the trigger. Anya, her voice trembling, says, "If there's even a thread of you left, Elias, you need to fight, because I'll blow up this damn bay, and us with it." For a fraction of a second, the human half of the creature's eyes, the brown that once belonged to Elias, softened. The alien hissed inside his mind, tightening its grip. Muscles tensed, and the glow around Elias alien flared brighter, devouring the hesitation. Then Elias alien, in a cold, final voice, says to Anya, "Your services are no longer required." With a flick of his wrist, a telekinetic blast rips a shard from a broken hull plate and spears the grenade away from Anya's grasp. It clatters across the floor, harmless. Anya finally collapses, sobbing. Then with another telekinetic blast, he sends another deadly metal shard with such force that it pierces Anya's chest, hurling her across the floor and pinning her to the wall. Her breathing is shallow, but she's still breathing. Alone now, the hybrid entity approaches the master helm console. Fingers, some human, some chitinous, danced over controls. The Vigilance rumbles as thrusters pivot. A new vector is locked towards Earthfall. Elias Alien places a hand on the thick glass steel viewport, gazing at the distant blue world, and in a reverent whisper says, "They will all learn the truth. There is no safe space. From me." Outside, stars streaked into luminous threads as the ship lurched into near-light velocity. The camera pulls back, first from the viewport, then down the length of the battle-scarred hull, until the Vigilance is a glint racing through the dark. Somewhere inside, one broken engineer cradles hope amid ruin. Everywhere else, silence reigns. And hurtling toward Earth is the greatest nightmare humanity will ever face, born from its own desperate gamble in the so-called safe space.